The millipede that was found was just one of those remarkable discoveries, So I got contacted by somebody from a local environmental company here in Perth. They'd done a survey out in that part of the goldfields, and they said, "Oh, we've got this really weird millipede. It's got lots of legs." I went, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's unusual. We don't get many millipedes." And then I was shown the specimen, and it just blew me away. It's got so many legs we couldn't even count them, and it was preserved in ethanol. It was all sort of tangled up like a bit of a worm, and we realised straight away that it was something really odd. So my colleague at the environmental company contacted an expert in the States, in the USA, who works on this particular group of millipedes, and we sent the information to him, and away it went. He did the study, and it was just remarkable. We were stunned by literally overnight. All of a sudden it was just picked up around the world in the news media. I had people contacting me saying, "Hey Mark, did you know about this millipede that's got 1,300 legs?" And I said, yeah, I know quite a lot about it actually, so thanks for letting me know. But we were amazed at how quickly it went round the world and the reception that it got. But it's a great story, right? It's got everything. It's in the Australian outback, which has got this international reputation as this rough and tumble place. It was living underground. It was found during a mining survey, and it's got more than 1,000 legs. So it ticks all those boxes of being like super unusual but super interesting at the same time. Millipedes, as most people know, have got a minimum of, well, the smallest millipede's got about a dozen legs, I guess, but most of them have got 20, 30, 40 pairs of legs. So this one's got 1,306 legs. So it's got the most number of legs of any organism that's ever been recorded anywhere in the world. So it's truly remarkable. So I think just it's the fact that it's elongated so much, it's got so many additional body parts, and in millipedes most of those body parts have got 2 pairs of legs, so they've got 4 legs on each one, and they just keep getting longer and longer. So that's the coolest thing, and what we're trying to nut out, or we're not trying to nut it out, but we've been talking amongst ourselves, is why has it got longer? So we're thinking about the subterranean spaces that it's moving around in, and we're not talking about big caves that you can walk into. These are tiny little fissures in the ground that might only be as wide as your pinky, and these things have been down there probably for hundreds of thousands or millions of years, not being on the surface. They only live in the subterranean environment. So why would you need to be so long? We wondered about whether it's crawling into tight spaces, but that might make it even worse, because if you get to a dead end, you've got to back up, and if you've got 1,300 legs, that's a lot of coordination to go backwards. So I was wondering whether it's got something to do with the fact that they've got so low nutrient levels down there. So millipedes routinely feed on plant matter. They suck fluids out of plant matter, and maybe fungi as well. So maybe it's to process as much or get as much nutrients out of their food source as they can by having a much longer digestive system, and that's why they've ended up being so long. Not all of the specimens that have been collected, because there were several, not all of them had 1,300 legs. There was one of them that had about half of that. So clearly it's variable. It's not a fixed number. So there might even be a longer one out there. We just don't know yet. The question I get the most from people is, I didn't realise you're still finding new species in Australia. And we find new species all the time. So it's not just in walking around in the forests or in the woodlands or in the deserts where we still find a lot of new species. The exploration that's going on in the Pilbara, the Goldfields, the Midwest, the Kimberley for mineral resources, with these environmental impact surveys that must be undertaken here in Western Australia, they're uncovering hundreds and hundreds of new species of subterranean organisms. So we literally know of several thousand new species of things on the surface in subterranean environments, and that includes new species of insects, millipedes, some centipedes, arachnids, spiders and their relatives, crustaceans. So we get a lot of animals like slaters that breathe air underground in subterranean environments. We also have crustaceans that live in the groundwater. So they're actually swimming around down there, so it's quite different to the air-breathing component of the subterranean fauna. So finding new species for us is not a novelty, but when I talk to people, they go, that's amazing, you can find a new species, and I think people still find that quite remarkable.